What you need to do is you need to go to aplusstudents.com. You go to aplusstudents.com. You go to the website. Okay. This lesson is a math lesson. You select maths. Okay. After maths, you select your grade. Your grade is grade 8. Grade 7, sorry. Grade 7. You select your grade 7. Okay. And then what you do is you select the topic, circles. And when we are circles, calculating area, circumference, the topic is circles. Okay. We would be calculating area, circumference, radius, and the diameter. So these are the things that we would be studying in the circles, okay, in the shape circle. So once you have logged in, let's start off with this. Okay. Okay. This is lesson 5. You go to geometric measurements. You go to geometric measurements, and that is geometric measurements. And the lesson number is 5. Okay. So let's start off with the topic and let's see what we need to do in circles. Okay. We know that a circle is a shape which does not have any edges. Okay. So in case of a circle, the center of the circle, okay, the property of the circle is that from the center to any point on the circumference, the outer ring is known as the circumference. This outer part is known as the circumference. Okay. So from the center of the circle to the circumference at any point in the circle, this distance will always be equal. Okay. This distance would always be equal. And this distance is known as the radius. Okay. These are known as this length, this length, this length, and this length. They all are known as radius. Okay. This is radius, this is radius, radius, and all these values are radius. Let's see what is a diameter. Okay. If we have a circle, in which a line is passing through the center of the circle and touching the opposite sides of the circle, okay, then this length would be known as a diameter. Okay, a diameter passes through the center of the circle. Okay, that means we can say that we know from the center to this corner, this was radius, right? This length was radius to the center to this point, and from the center to this point was also a radius. So through this, we can say that a diameter is twice of radius to multiply by the radius. Okay, or we can say that diameter is twice of radius. Okay, if diameter is given, we can find the radius. If the radius is given, we can find the diameter. Okay, let's see. Okay, the question we have is the diameter of a circle. Let's start off with the question. Question number 1 states that if there is a circle, okay, there is a circle and the diameter of the circle is given as, the circle has a diameter and the diameter has to pass through the center of the circle, okay? The diameter is given as 8 kilometers, okay? The question is saying what is the radius? If we need to find the radius, okay, we know that diameter is twice of radius, okay? We have the formula, that is, what is the radius? We know that diameter is twice of radius, 2r. So if we know the diameter, can we replace the value of diameter by the given value? So we can say 8 is equals to 2r, right? And 2 is multiplying on this side. When we take 2 to the other side, 8 is divided by 2. That equals to radius. And when 8 is divided by 2, the answer is, can anyone help me out with the answer? Okay, great. Hi, welcome everyone. We are doing diameter and radius. So the question says that radius is 8 upon 2, the final step, right? So what is 8 divided by 2? The radius would come out to be 4, and the unit in the question was kilometers. So we write 4 kilometer is the radius. Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Okay, let's try one more question. Okay, let's look at another question. In this question, in the next question, we are given the radius. The question says the radius of a circle is 2 meters. Find the diameter of the circle. Okay, this is a question. And the diagram that is drawn is, we have a circle. We know that the line passing through the center of the circle, the line passing through the center of the circle is the diameter. And the radius that is given to us is, we know that the radius is given as 2 meters. So we can say that this length is the radius. Radius is 2 meters. If this is the radius, then this should also be the radius. We know the formula for the diameter compared to the radius. Using the formula, that is, diameter is twice of radius. D is equals to 2r, right? We have to find the value of the diameter when the given radius was, the radius was given as 2 meters. So you put over 2 over here. That means the 2 multiplied by 2 would be, the diameter comes out to be 4 meters. The diameter is 4 meters. Okay. We always have to write the unit. Kilometers, meters, centimeters. Lengths are always measured in units. Okay. Let's try another question. Is there any question? Okay. Very good. Okay. Let's see the next question. A similar question is given to us. The question says the radius is 2 millimeters. Okay. Find the, what is the circumference? Find the, what is the circumference? Okay, we need to find the circumference. We know that the circumference is always the outer ring of a circle. So let's suppose if we have a given circle, okay, what is given to us? The radius is given to us. The radius is the distance from the center of the circle to any point on the circumference. So we can say this is the radius that is given as, the radius is 2 millimeters. Okay. In case of circles, we need to remember that there is a value of pi. We consider pi to be 3.14. This is a value, standard value of pi that you would be using, 3.14. Okay. Now let's look at the formula. We already did the formula for diameter and radius, right? Now let's look at the formula for circumference. Let's see what is the formula for the circumference. The formula for the circumference is, circumference is equals to 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by r, the radius. This is the formula for finding the circumference. Let's apply the values into the formula and let's find the circumference. So if circumference we need to find, we can write 2 multiply by pi. The value of pi is given as 3.14. 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiply by the radius. The radius was given as 2 millimeters. Okay. So what we can do is, we can multiply. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. And when 4 is multiplied by 3.14, what we can do is 3.14 multiplied by 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Carry 1. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. We have 2 decimal places over here. So we apply 2 decimal places over here. That means the circumference comes out to be 12.56 millimeters. Okay, so we have to give the unit. Whenever we are finding lengths, we have to write down the unit of that particular length. Okay, any questions? Okay, okay. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. Now in the next question, in this previous question, what was given to us? We were given the radius, right? In the next question, they're changing the values. What they're saying is, the question says is, the diameter of a circle is 6 millimeters. Okay, the diameter is 6 millimeter. That means if a circle is given to us, the distance from one point of the circle to the other side of the circle would be the diameter. So we can say that this is the diameter which passes through the center. The length of the diameter is given to us, that is 6 millimeters. Okay, the diameter is given to us. What they are asking us in the question is, what is the circumference? See, we have two options. First thing we need to remember that the value of the pi would always be taken as 3.14. We need to consider pi as 3.14. What they're asking us to find is the circumference. They're asking us to find the circumference. Circumference means 2 pi r, right? That is the formula for the circumference, right? But we also know that diameter is equals to 2r. So if we take this 2 and this r, can these two values of 2 and r be replaced by a diameter? So we can say that pi, pi multiplied by the diameter is also for circumference, because we replace 2r by the diameter, because diameter is twice the distance of radius. So now we put down the values to find the this is 3.14 multiplied by 6. We can multiply them. 3.14 multiplied by 6. You can use a calculator. I'm just showing you with the working. We're just revising the multiplication also. 6 times 4 is 24. We write the 4, we carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. How many decimal places were there? There were 2 decimal places. So we can write 18.84. That means circumference comes out to be 18.84 millimeters. Okay, the answer is, and if they would ask us in the question to give it to 1 decimal, then we would round off. Otherwise, we will leave our answers to 2 decimals, because we are using the value of pi to be at 2 decimals. Okay, let's try another question. Yes, 2r is replaced by d because diameter is 2r. Okay, so we replace, yes, 18.84 millimeters is your answer. Okay, that's good. Let's try another question. And the next question says, okay, question says that the circumference of a circle, or in this case, the circumference is given to us. Circumference is 18.84 inches, right? They've given us the circumference, and what they're asking us to find the diameter. What is the diameter? Okay, we are trying to find the diameter. That means if a circle is given to us, the outer ring of the circle is 18 point, this part of the circle is 18.84 inches, right? That is the outer ring of the circle. We know that the value of the pi that we need to use is 3.14. That is the standard value of pi that we use. So in order to find the diameter, we have a formula that says circumference is pi multiplied by the diameter. Do we agree on this? Okay, good. So, yes, is there any question? If you have a question, please type it so that I will discuss that question. Okay. Circumference is equals to, there were two formulas for the circumference. One was with the radius. Circumference was 2 pi r. And the second formula was pi multiply. Circumference was this. So what we need to use is the second formula, because the diameter is we need to find the diameter. So we replace the value of the circumference, that would be 18.84 is equals to pi can be replaced by 3.14 multiplied by the diameter. Since 3.4 is multiplying on this side, when it goes On the other side of the equal, it divides. 18.84 is divided by 3.14. That equals to the value of the diameter. Can we put down these values into the calculator? If 18.84 is divided by 3.14, that means the diameter comes out to be 6 inches. We need to follow the unit that is given in the question. Okay. Okay, let's see if there is a question. Okay. Moving on further to the next question. The next question says, let's look at the next question. Okay. In the next question, it says, the radius of the circle is given. The radius of a circle is 5 feet. Okay. What is the diameter? The question says, what is the diameter? So we know that in a given circle, in any circle, okay, the distance from one point to the other point passing through the center is always the diameter. The total length is the diameter. Whereas the smaller lengths from the center to the circumference are the radius, right? And we also know that diameter is twice of the radius. So if the radius is given to us, that was 5 feet. Can we find the diameter? Can we say diameter is twice of the radius? And the radius was 5. So 2 multiplied by 5 would be equal to, the diameter comes out to be 10 feet. Okay. Do we agree on this? Okay. 10 feet is the diameter in this case. Let's look at another example. Okay. The next question is the other way around, in which the diameter is given and we need to find the radius. The diameter of a circle, they can never be a diameter of any other shape. If even their question says the diameter is 4 centimeter, so it's understandable for us that the diameter is always for a circle. Okay, is 4 centimeters. What is the circle's radius? Okay, we need to find the radius. So what happens over here is, if we had a circle given to us, the diameter was given to us, passing through the center, the diameter was 4 centimeters. And this is radius and this is radius from the center to the circumference. We have the formula for diameter, that is, diameter is always twice of the radius. We can say that diameter is twice of radius. If the value for the diameter is given, that is 4, we substitute in place of diameter. So we write 4 is equals to twice of radius. So 4 is equals to 2r. Can we divide 4 by 2? If 4 is divided by 2, that should be equal to the radius. And 4 can be divided by 2 twice. That means 2 centimeter is the radius, and that is our answer. Okay, very good. Moving on to the next question. Okay, the circumference of the circle is given to us. The circumference is 12.56 inches. This is given to us. They are asking us what is the circle's radius. They're asking us to find the radius. That means if the circumference is given, that then the outer ring of the circle is given to us. We need to find the radius. The radius is the distance from the center to the circumference at any point in the circle. Then we can say this is the radius, and the outer ring that I made in orange, that is the circumference. So we have the formula for circumference. We have two formulas for circumference. The first one was circumference is 2 pi r, and the second one is pi diameter. So out of these two formulas that we have, since we need to find the radius, we will use the formula which has radius in it. So can we say circumference is 2 pi r? Okay. We have the value for circumference. The value for the circumference was given as 12.56 is equals to 2 multiplied by pi, and the value of pi that we consider is 3.14. That means 2 is multiplied by 3.14. The pi is substituted by 3.14, and the radius is the variable which we need to find. So once we multiply 12.56, when we multiply 3.14 is multiplied by 2, the answer comes out to be 6.28 multiplied by the radius. If 6.2 is 8 is multiplying with the radius on the right side, when it's shifted to the other side of the equation, it will divide. So what we do is 12.56 is divided by 6.28, and it equals to the radius. So when we put this value into the calculator, let's try using the calculator. 12.56 divided by 6.28, the answer comes out to be 2. And the unit that we were using was inches. So we need to write 2 inches. If the circumference is in inches, then the radius is also in inches, and the diameter would also be in inches. It has to be the same unit throughout the question. Okay, let's try the next question. Okay, good. Thank you for responding. Thank you. So we divide 12.56 divided by 6.28, and the radius would come out to be 2. And we use the unit that is given in the question, that is inches. Okay, very good. Let's try another question. Okay. Okay, let's see where can we find radius circle 25. I'm just trying to find a good question so that we'd be able to do. Okay. Let's try a simple question is there. Let's try another question. Question number 9 states that, okay, I'll give you the statement, but before doing the statement, I'll just draw the diagram and let's see what we can understand from the diagram. Okay, a circle is given to us. There's a line in the circle that is drawn already. I'll explain the in by words also. Okay, this is given as 3 kilometers, and the question says, what is the circumference? Right? So through this diagram, we can say that the information given to us in the question is the radius of a circle is 3 kilometers. This is the information that should be given to us in words. And there is one more information that we need to remember is the value of pi, that is 3.14. So since we need to find the circumference, we just did the same question in the previous part, right? We had two formulas for the circumference. These were the two formulas for the circumference. But since we are using the radius in this case, so we can say circumference is 2 pi r. And once we need to find the circumference, if we need to find the circumference, all we need to do is substitute the values. Circumference would be 2 multiplied by the value of pi, that is 3.14, is multiplied by the radius. And the radius is given to us as 3 kilometers multiplied by 3. So once we put down the values into the calculator, we can say 6 is multiplied by 3.14. Using a calculator or doing this long multiplication, we can say the answer comes out to be 18.84 kilometers. Okay. So it's like if a car racetrack has a radius of 3, it's a circular racetrack with a radius of 3 kilometers, then the car, the car starts from this point A, goes into this direction, right? Since it's a circular, it keeps on moving. Once it reaches back to the starting point, right? To the point A, the distance traveled by the car would be 18.84 kilometers because the radius was 3. Depending on the radius, the circumference would change. Okay. So these are some examples that we see in our 9.42. Okay, let's see. 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 3. That is 18.84. Circumference is 2 pi r. Okay. See, I'll explain it again. The formula for the circumference is 2 pi r. 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius. When we multiply 2 multiplied by 3 the value of pi is given to us 3.14, and the radius was already given to us, that was 3. So when we multiply them together, it comes out to be, right? We don't have to divide it by 2 because there's no radius, there's no diameter in it, right? We simply need to multiply 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by the radius, that is 3. It comes out to be 18.84. That's good. Okay. I hope you understood that, right? We'll try one more question and let's see. Okay. Okay, let's try doing something, right? We did a few examples. Let's try doing let's try doing the test at the top of your screen, right? You've got a test in the lesson. Let's go there. Let's try a few questions from the test so that we do a few questions together and the few questions you do on your own. Try to complete the test later on your own, but we'll discuss a few questions together, okay? So I'll just copy paste the questions. I'll try to copy paste and just give me a minute, please. Okay, sorry. Okay. If the question says the diameter, 1 minute, please. The diameter of a circle is given to us. Let's see. Okay. If we have this question, let's try to minimize. Is this okay? I'll do it again. Okay. The question says, I'll write down what's needed. The diameter is 2 miles. The diameter is given as 2 miles to us. Okay. We use the value of pi to be 3.14. The value of pi is 3.14, right? We need to find the circumference. We need to find the circumference. We know that circumference was 2 pi r, or circumference was pi multiplied by d. Since we are dealing with diameter, so we apply the second formula. So we can say that circumference is pi, that is 3.14. 3.14 multiply by the diameter. And the diameter was, no, that's not pleasure. These are our own questions. These are the questions we have, and that's where it's from there, from the website. Okay, let's do these questions. It's from the A Plus website. And these are the exact same questions. When you go for the test, you'll find the same questions over there. Okay, let's do this. Times 2. So 3.14 when multiplied by 2, the answer comes out to be 6.28 miles, right? So option A is the correct option, right? Very good. Let's click on the option 6.28 and let's see if it's correct. Yes, it's correct, right? Let's try another question where the I'll just copy paste another question because we are wasting more time in drawing. We can do more questions this way. Okay. Okay. If this is given to us, and I would paste this over here. Okay. So if this is given to us, let's see what's okay. In kilometers, these are the two options. Let's see. Okay. Let's try to do this question. The radius of a circle is 3 kilometers. What is the circumference? Again, in this case, the radius is given to us. So we had two formulas for the circumference, which we already discussed over here. So we pick the formula that has, since the radius is given to us, then we use circumference is equals to 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius. 2 multiply, the value of pi is always 3.14. 3.14 is multiplied by the radius, and the radius given to us was 3 kilometers. Okay, so once we multiply these numbers together, can we multiply? Can we use a calculator? 2 into 3.14 into 3. Can anyone give me the answer? Please give me the answer. I'm waiting. Yes, that's previous question, this question, the current question that we have, in which we need to find the circumference. Is it 18.84 kilometers or 20.84? Okay. Yes, 18.84. Very good. Thank you so much. So it comes out to be 18.84 kilometers. So we click on this option. Let's see. If we click on the option on the website in the test, Would we get the correct answer? 18.84. We select this. Yes, it's correct. And it goes to the next question. Okay. The next question says, I'll just bring down the next question so that we can have a better understanding. Okay. The question says that, I'll just move ahead. Okay. Okay. This is the question that's given to us, and this is what they're asking of us. Okay. So the question says the radius of a circle is given to us, and we need to find the circumference. Same question, different values. We need to find the circumference. So circumference, we knew that it was 2 pi r, right? That means 2 is multiplied with the value of pi. That was 3.14 multiplied by the radius. In this case, the radius is 4 millimeters. So what we do is 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 4. It comes out to be, can anyone give me the answer? Just by using a calculator. No, we are not ending. We still have a class. Can you not hear me? The class is still there. We are doing those questions. Okay. So 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 4. The answer would come out to be, can anyone give me the answer? No. 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 4 can never be equal to 10. We are multiplying 2 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 4. We are multiplying these three numbers together. It should be equal to 25. Okay, good. It should be equal to 25.12 millimeters, right? Do we have 25.12 millimeters in the options? That is the second option. When you click on the second option, let's see what is our answer, if it's correct or incorrect. Let's go back to the website and we click on the second option. Yes, it's a correct option, right? Let's try one more. The circumference is given to us and they are asking us for a diameter. I'll just copy the question so that you can have a visual. Okay. This is the question. And this is what they're asking us of, right? So in this case, the circumference is given to us and the diameter is being asked. We know that there are two formulas for circumference. The first one was circumference is 2 pi r. Either we can use this or we use circumference is pi multiplied by diameter. So depending on the question, because they're asking us what is the circle's diameter, right? So we need to use the second formula that we have, which includes diameter in it. So circumference was given, that is 12.56 is equals to, the value of pi is 3.14 multiplied by the diameter, right? So what can we do? If 3.14, okay, if 3.14 is multiplying with diameter on the right side, when it goes to the other side, what will happen? 12.56 will be divided by 3.14, right? And the answer would come out to be, no, you're again dividing it by 2. I see your answer, you wrote 2. No, we don't have to use. See, we are using the form. Let's do it again. We're using the formula that is already Circumference is equals to pi multiplied by the diameter. We are not using 2 pi r. We are not using this formula because we do not have the radius. We don't want to find the radius. We are using this formula. That means the circumference was 12.56. The value of pi was 3.14 and diameter you had to find. So if 3.14 is multiplying on this side, can we write this as 12.56 is divided by 3.14 and it should be equal to the value of the diameter? Yes. So what should be the answer in this case? When 12.56 is divided by 3.14, the answer comes out to be either it would be 4 or it would be 6. What is the answer? Okay, that's good. Okay, that means when we divide these two numbers, the answer would come out to be 4. And you need to remember the unit. Okay, but in this case, this is an MCQ question, multiple choice question. So you just simply need to click on the possible answer. Okay, so you click on 4 and it would show you that whether it's a correct answer or it's an incorrect answer. Okay, uh, I hope you enjoyed your lesson today. We did practice a few questions together, but what I would want you people to do is to complete the test. Please do complete the test. See for yourself what you understood out of this lesson, right? If there is any problems, if you face any questions, you can always go to the sessions and you can go through the sessions and you can start solving those questions. Best of luck. Have a nice day. Take care.